Welcome back to our channel. I'm really excited because we're sharing about one of my favorite vacations that I've ever taken.
So we were...
Kauai? Is that where we were going?
No. Maui.
Maui.
We were gonna go to Maui.
I forgot.
It's really sad. It was August of 2023 when the wildfires broke out, 4 days before we were supposed to go there. So obviously we canceled our trip, allow all of the public resources to be able to focus on their community and not have to worry about additional tourists coming. We still had all the time off taken. We all had flight credits that had been booked and then canceled, and so with positive attitudes, really Abby's parents were able to divert everything for a trip to Sedona.
Restaurant right there, and it's a beautiful place for sunset. It's great. We stayed at a little hotel, a little resort hotel up there.
This is so cute. Look at that. Ooh. Look at this. It is pretty.
This is a grill.
Wow. That was dirty. The house that we stayed at was so beautiful.
And views from every window, every bedroom.
I will say this is a pretty bougie house because this is my parents paying for this vacation.
If it was just us.
If it was just us, we first of all wouldn't be
Much
staying there
smaller.
because it's way too big for just us.
But I think there's a lot of options in the area
Yeah.
for smaller, you
Yeah.
know, Airbnbs or whatever that would be more accommodating for just two or even
Totally.
a solo traveler.
And I feel like you would get good views anywhere because you're just surrounded by the really pretty red rocks. The first day was Monday. We started out that day going to the chai spot, which was this like chai tea house, I guess. It was in this like shopping center, which this shopping center was so pretty. Lots of really cool art galleries, lots of really unique like little trinkety type shops with ornaments. We got our travel ornament there. We always get an ornament everywhere we go.
Yeah.
We did do a hike that day.
Cathedral Rock is maybe one of the, if you drive into Sedona, it's one of the ones that draws your eye the most. Everywhere is beautiful, but it's just kind of standalone out on its own a little bit, and then it's just these rocks that look like fingers sticking up to the sky. And so there's a trail that goes all the way up to kind of like in between some of the fingers. And so we hiked it. It's not too difficult of a hike. I
beg to differ with that. I am not a huge hiker. A lot of it was pretty simple, but then there were some spots that were really difficult. Like we'll link a video of this one section that literally felt like we were like rock climbing.
So yeah, I would say from 1 to 5, I would probably put it at a 3. If you're concerned, then you can just go up to whatever level you're comfortable with and then stop there.
Yeah.
But there was some, like on the way down especially, some butt sliding just to stay low and not fall. But
if you take it slow,
yeah,
it's very doable. And that's coming from someone who's not a big hiker.
exactly.
Lay by my side, keep your eyes wide, watch all those shooting stars fly. Almost after midnight, hold my head tight. We're so alive, just like fireflies in the shelter. All we need is love. All we need is love in the shelter. All we need is love. All we need is love. Sunrise in our eyes, so sweet to be far from home.
Day 2, possibly my favorite day.
Really?
We had
It was
an
a fun
awesome
day.
excursion. We rented a UTV. I don't know what the U stands for, ultra terrain vehicle or something, but it's basically this four-wheeler that looks insane and can take on anything. Probably could drive straight up a wall. And we took it out to like the back country. So we had a rental for 4 hours. I think it's about $400 for 4 hours. So
Yeah.
definitely budget for that if that's something you want to do. You
Yeah.
can also rent them for longer, but 4 hours was plenty for us. We hit 3 different trails. By the end of it, you know, you're kind of tired from bouncing around and everything. So we were ready to, you know, hang it up at the end of the 4 hours.
I will say it is the thing that made me feel like I was experiencing what Sedona looked like before it got kind of populated, you know, like getting outside of the city and just being completely in nature. I got to really see what I feel like God intended that place to look like. Not that it's bad that it's got shops and restaurants and stuff now. Obviously, like we really benefit from that as tourists. But it's also really special to get out in the country and see like what it would look like without anyone there.
The people that you rent the UTV from will tell you an app to download that takes you around, so it's really not difficult to navigate or anything. There's a lot of spots for stopping and taking pictures and things like that.
Prepare yourself because you will get muddy. Especially because it rained a little bit the night before, and so some of the mud was still really wet and we were just like covered in mud spots.
Hey, welcome to the desert.
For real. Look at that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Where we are. That's the start. Well, I'll get out here. That's the start of our trail. Say hi to everyone.
Hey.
Hey. We're not gonna roll. We're gonna be fine.
But if we do, hold on. Wednesday, the next day, this was really cool for me, especially because I never seen the Grand Canyon before, so that was really special to get to go and see that. We kind of made it a day trip because from Sedona, it's about a 2 to 3 hour drive, depending on how many stops you make. We had a baby with us, and so I felt like we made, you know, probably more stops than other people would. And we kind of just like picked the quickest point of access. Like we didn't look into that too much, but where we went was so cool because obviously there's a beautiful view of the canyon. There was also this like looking tower. What do you call that?
A lookout tower.
A lookout tower.
A looking tower.
A looking tower. And they had a little gift shop, of course, because why would you not monetize a looking tower?
And they got our money.
They did. We got a really cute print from there.
Yeah. And
Let me go get it. It's so cute.
Did we get an ornament too?
We did, but I'm not getting that one out. This is one of the things that I got that I just love. I put it in this cute little frame. It actually is a postcard. So on the back, it says, "The mightiest canyon you'll ever see will stretch your imagination free, Tom Wesson." It's like a little quote, but I just thought the design was so pretty, so I framed it.
Very good.
Anyways, that evening we ended up driving back to Sedona and went to a restaurant that my dad highly recommended. And it's actually where the airport strip is. So all these like private airplanes, you know, fancy people flying into Sedona. The food was so delicious. And then also what I think makes this restaurant really special is that they've got like these beautiful glass windows kind of surrounding the whole thing so that you can have this like panoramic view of the mountains while you're eating, especially if you go at sunset, which is when we went. It is just stunning.
If I go back to Sedona, I will be going to that restaurant.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah. Highly recommend. Honestly, like of all the restaurants in Sedona, this would probably be the one I recommend.
Our second hike of the trip, I think it was called Chicken Point.
Yeah, I think it was. That left my mind until just now.
And don't let the name distract you. The view is one of my favorites.
That was an easy hike.
Yeah, easy hike, but long and hot.
It was really hot that day.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that was hard. But as far as like difficulty of hikes, it was not hard at all. You're really not going up mountain very much. You're kind of walking around the mountain, and then to get to the like Chicken Point area, you go up like a tiny little hill section. So if you're like not a big hiker, but you want to get really beautiful views, this was the one I would probably recommend.
There's an app called All Trails. It's gonna be a really good, helpful guide if you're interested in checking out some of the different hiking routes in Sedona. But yeah, I would say it probably took us a little over an hour on the way out, and then less time, maybe 45 minutes on the way back. So once the hike was over, then we walked up to the Church of the Holy Cross, which is a beautiful building.
Highly recommend.
When you drive into Sedona, you will see it. It's stunning. So
Yeah.
you get to go inside.
It's a very reverent place. We went in there after our hike and we were like dripping in sweat, felt super gross.
There's people praying in there,
Yeah.
and so you want to be respectful and quiet.
Super accessible if you don't want to hike. Like there's a parking lot like right at the church. So you can totally do that and just skip the hike if you want.
And a ramp all the way up to it.
And then that night, my family actually hired a photographer. She was amazing.
Yeah.
So fun to work with. Her photos are stunning.
And she knows the area really well,
Yeah,
which is helpful.
very helpful. So she knew exactly where to direct us. It was very simple to find her, and then we basically just walked around and had us a little family photo shoot.
Most nights we went out to eat. 2 nights we did a guys cook and then a girls cook night, kind of as a competition.
Yeah. Well.
It's girls' night to cook, and we have prepared some spring rolls as an appetizer. Yum. Yeah, those look great.
Yes, key lime in a cup.
We call those sticky rolls.
Our last full day.
We started out with a hike, just Abby and I and her dad, and we did Bell Rock, which is another one, kind of like Cathedral Rock, where it stands out, it's all alone, and you pretty much can choose how high you want to go. We got to a point where we could not go any higher, even though the trail kept
Yeah.
going up, so we turned around. So
That one was really tough.
I would rank it as the hardest, probably a level 4 out of 5. On your hands.
The trails
some
also are
points.
not very clearly marked, so
Yeah.
that was tough too. And I feel like maybe we had ended up in a space that wasn't necessarily supposed to be the trail.
Possibly. Sunrise, I think the park opens around 6, and so it's still early enough that you can really watch the sunrise as you're hiking up. Beautiful views of the town, so I would recommend doing that hike as well.
I honestly wouldn't. So after Bell Rock, the whole family loaded up with our pool floaties,
Swimsuits.
Swimsuits and good tennis shoes for walking.
Long drives, nothing here but
Little man is ready for the swimming hole.
raindrops on the red dust. It's never smelled so good.
So this was actually my mom's 50th birthday. We ended up doing like a really nice dinner. Highly recommend this place called Chiachi.
Oh yeah.
But it's at a beautiful resort. It was like a good 45-minute drive from our house, so it's a little bit out there, but it's in kind of a remote spot in Sedona, kind of nestled between 2 big red rocks, and the views were unmatched, like so beautiful. We sat outside, so we had kind of a view of like the pool of the resort, and then just the sunset hitting the rocks once again, which was just so stunning.
To give you an idea of the type of meal that it was, there was multiple waiters coming and making sure we were fine, refilling our water and stuff, and then there was a sommelier,
Like a culinary
something
expert of some kind.
that she came up and introduced herself as our guide, and
Culinary guide.
Yeah, and then she used the biggest words I've ever heard anybody use about food, and basically told us what things would pair well with other stuff. If we were curious about this dish, she would recommend a wine with it, things like that.
All I got was this wimpy little fish.
No. Oh.
It was a cultivated experience tailored to us and our interests,
Yeah.
which it's at least in the top 3 fanciest meals I've ever had.
Oh, 100%.
Easily. So
100%.
it was very bougie.
It was very bougie and very delicious. More than a dinner. It was an experience.
For sure. So the next day we drove back to Phoenix, spent the night there, and then flew out. And that's our trip to Sedona. If you've been to Sedona and you have a recommendation for something that we didn't talk about, then let us know about that so we can include it in our next trip, because we'll definitely be going back.
Definitely. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot. It also is really helpful for us if you like this video, leave your comments, and then especially subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this content. We would love to keep sharing our recommendations, and we can't wait to hear what are some of your recommendations in this area as well.
Bye.
Long drives, nothing here but moonlight.
Yeah.
Perfect.